I have a new video for you guys because former Nickelodeon star Alexa Nikolas has exposed her ex-husband Mike Milosh. We've actually talked about this before on my channel, but it turns out Mike Milosh and his record label don't care. And as more women come forward, I want to remind you guys of the dark past of Mike. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Alexa Nikolas is a 29-year-old actress who you may recognize from Nickelodeon's Zoey 101. And she was married to this guy named Mike Milosh. He is a Canadian musician and part of a band named Rye. We don't like Mike on this channel because he hasn't taken accountability for what he has put Alexa through. And today we're going to reveal some more information about this situation and some updates on Mike and his case. Before we get into it, I do want to give you guys a rundown of what happened to Alexa. You definitely need to go watch my full video if you want to understand the severity of what she went through married to this man. But I want to do a quick rundown so you guys can understand where we were and where we plan to go forward. So like I was saying, Michael Milosh is part of a band named Rye, and Alexa Nikolas is a child actress who worked on Nickelodeon and many more different movies and projects since then. They met when she was just 16 years old and he was 33. That's when they first started talking because Alexa liked his band's music and he was very responsive to her. At one point in Alexa's career, she was working on a movie where she was playing a young girl who was pregnant, and she actually sent a picture of herself to Mike at that time, and he told her he was turned on by the photos. So that gives you a little idea of what type of man this guy is. There is no reason this 33-year-old man should have been talking to a 16-year-old, and as their relationship progressed, he was, manipulating her. I can't say the G-R-O-O-O-M, did I add extra O? But he was manipulating her and getting her ready to, do things with her. And that's pretty much what happened. Mike has certain things that he's into, fantasies, including like backdoor stuff. I don't know how else to say it. It really is hard to even talk about, but he would engage in, activities with Alexa, and she would not want to do things that he would want to do, but they would just do it anyways. So he did not really care if she said no or not. At this time, he was really into her, and he actually wrote a song about her and their relationship called Major Minor Love, a play on words talking about his relationship as a grown man with a young minor at that time. The song even refers to some of the backdoor stuff that she doesn't like that he was so into. She also shared stories about how this man will record these interactions with women where they aren't consenting, and he will use them later on in his music. I'm not going to play the clips of Alexa, but pretty much she was saying no, no, no in this clip, and he reversed it, so she said on. And she even shared a story of when he was supposedly in Japan, he hooked up with two Japanese women. They didn't know English or whatever, and they were drinking. He brought them back to his place, and he ended up doing the same thing that he did to Alexa to them. And there's a sample out there of these women saying, no, I don't want this, and pretty much saying, ouch, like, please don't, because he was doing things to them. They didn't want it. They weren't speaking English. He doesn't know Japanese. And he decided to use that bit in his music because I guess his music is a way for him to, talk about what he's into, to reflect on what he's done. I can't imagine recording a moment where someone was in pain and just like loving it so much that I'm going to edit it and filter it and put it into a song. So this guy is an absolute weirdo. And Alexa called him out in a beautiful way through Instagram in a very long and detailed letter where she brought the receipts. Again, if you have not watched my initial video, definitely go check it out because this man needs to be held accountable. Later on in their relationship, they became married, and once they were married, it just became even more and more toxic. Alexa actually went through his computer at some point and found an email from his record label pretty much saying that he cannot go on tour unless he had a United States visa, and that was around the time that he proposed to her, and she believes that she was proposed to to so that he could have a visa to work. He manipulated her from the beginning when they first started talking to the time when they were divorcing, and she was financially unstable because she lost her job because of him, because she was on tour because of him, and he was trying to make sure she got the shorter end of the stick along the way. Alexa actually tried to do an article about him for Verse, and it ended up getting taken down at one point because Rye and Mike's team was trying to have it removed and stopping her from, acknowledging that she was a 16-year-old when she first started talking to a 33-year-old man. So as Mike tries to protect himself, we're going to continue to call him out until he is held accountable by his record label or by someone. So let's go through the updates, because Alexa posted an update on her Instagram and she pretty much found some emails that are incriminating and that show that Mike was committing crimes back when he was having a relationship with her. We're going to talk about his statement that he has put out defending himself, but it's clear that whatever he is trying to paint a picture of, it's not working, because Alexa literally has receipts that show that he was engaging in this activity. Let's go ahead and break down her Instagram post. So pretty much, she writes, on March 22nd, 2009, Milosh sent me an email with his full name and update on his passport number for traveling to LA. He cannot afford one, so he was sharing his information so I could purchase one for him. His intention was to photograph me and to do stuff with me. I was 16 at the time and I did not buy the ticket. And you guys can see she included that email where he was messaging her, planning to fly out and hang out when he was 33 and she was 16. The second email that Alexa shared, entitled "Oh My," was his response to a selfie that was quite provocative that she sent him 2 weeks after she turned 17. Like she said before, her conversations were always flirtatious and very inappropriate. And here's that email where he is reacting to that very inappropriate picture of Alexa when she was just turned 17 and he would be either 33 or 34 years old. Finally, the last email that she shared shows that Mike had every intention of going and taking pictures of Alexa with no clothing on when she was under the age of 18. He sent her an email of 2 women who had nothing on, and pretty much he showed her that those were the poses that he wanted to take pictures of her in. And keep in mind, she's a young girl at this time, and these women in these photos have nothing on. Alexa points out in her post that there are several crimes that he broke here. I mean, taking pictures of a young, trying to take pictures of a kid with that literal child. Guys, keep in mind, Josh Duggar just got in trouble for things like this. Also, just him having the photo of her, taking that selfie. It's just, there are so many things that could add up on top of what we've already talked about in my first video. Mike's band, Rye, is actually managed by Loma Vista Recordings. That is his record label. And I encourage you guys, if you want to, go take that extra step and go either email them or tweet them or message them and just let them know that you want them to hold Mike accountable, or at least put out a statement that you don't agree with those actions. I mean, literally they were telling, or if this was the same record label, telling him at that time, hey, you can't go on tour unless you have a US visa. And then he marries this young girl, so he has a US visa. This is just also scheming, and they have allowed him to continue to have his platform and his role at their recording label, even though he has been proven to have taken advantage of a young girl when she was 16 years old and do so much more with her. No consent involved at all. And let's go into detail on what's happened since Alexa has released her letter. So after Alexa shared her initial letter, Mike Milosh did speak out to Rolling Stone and defend himself. He said, for as long as I can remember, I've always strongly supported women and their right to speak out and be heard. That is why the false claims made by my former wife have been so hurtful and shocking to me. Like all marriages, we had our difficulties and attempted to weather them together as best as we could. Ultimately, despite our best efforts, we agreed to divorce. I loved her very much and we shared many special years before our marriage ended. I have always wished her nothing but the best and continue to support her financially even when I was no longer required to under our divorce agreement. Eventually, I stopped paying, and in response, Alexa has resorted to a character assassination. So Mike is claiming that he is innocent and pretty much that Alexa is speaking out because she wants some of his money and he stopped paying for her. That was pretty much all he had to say, and no one else has put out any other statements. Keep in mind that Alexa has been reminding her followers about this situation and the type of man that Mike is. She shared one update on her Instagram, which we did talk about on my channel, but I want to remind you guys that someone reached out to Alexa, and they are a younger sister of one of Mike's best friends. So Mike has a best friend, the best friend has a younger sister, they all hang out because they're all family friends. Well, she overheard a story one time that Mike told, and it's traumatized her ever since then. Pretty much, he would brag about a situation he was in where he was dating some girl who was cheating on him. Instead of confronting the girl like any normal person would and calling her out for cheating, what he did was they started to hook up, pretty much. It gets a little graphic. That they started to hook up, and he decided to bring some hot sauce into the bed, and as soon as he goes down, he brought the hot sauce with him and poured it all over her area and then called her out for cheating, which I just think is one of the most horrific things I've ever heard in my life, that someone would go to the length of like trying to hook up with someone who just cheated on them and then pour hot sauce all over their private. Like, that just sounds so outrageous to me, and he needs to come out and speak about these allegations because there are so many people who have been coming forward, even people on my own YouTube comments. One person left a comment on my YouTube video claiming that they worked with Mike Milosh before, and there was a model that was involved, and Mike was acting very awkward and bizarre towards her. They weren't impressed at all with his work, and it was just overall awkward. Another person wrote, I've actually known this man in person, and I believe her. I met him and hung out with him many times. I just turned around 18 and he was 30. I saw nothing wrong with it, but he was one of the people in my life who kind of traumatized me and made me feel worthless, like a grown person messing with my feelings. I thought it was because I was too young for him, but it turns out I was actually worthless to him because I noticed he married a younger person than me. So obviously this man has an interest in young women, and I don't think it started with Alexa, and I don't think it has ended with her. I think it just continues. This type of behavior doesn't just go away. Alexa has actually outlined everything she wants Mike Milosh to do in an Instagram post, and she wrote she wants him to release their MySpace correspondence in 2008 when she was in Iowa and he was in Canada. She wants him to release all the samples of her voice that she used in her song Don't Call It, to prove that she was saying no during their interaction. Number 3, reveal any written or recorded verbal consent from all the women you sampled for your album Meme. 4, prove that you never opened a Model Mayhem account. Prove that you weren't a creep on it. By the way, it says your last activity was October 29th, 2016. Number 5, prove to the apartment owner that you did not stay there after I left. Show me how much of my funds paid for your total stay, as well as evidence that I paid for your first flight to LA to record, write, and film a Milosh music video in Northern California. In number 6, she actually asks Mike to prove that he did not pour hot sauce on a girl's thing, and she writes, prove that you have not talked to your best friend's sister about the hot sauce incident. Number 7, reveal the conversation with the woman you essayed in the jacuzzi on the lawn with your friend. Oh my god, oh god, I don't even know that story. So there's just so much out here. Number 8, reveal emails with your record label in regard to the artist visa that we were married for. Number 7, show proof that you did not take down any other interview, but your own while speaking with Verse, which you claimed was imaginary. That's really when this all started up. Like, she tried to speak to Verse, he tried to stop her, and you are not going to silence anyone in this day of time because there are going to be people like myself and many of my subscribers who are going to be here to back them up. And finally, she wrote, have your band members come forward and say that you did not invite or bring girls backstage at your show in Canada in 2019, and that you did not take anyone to a bar or hotel room at the end of the night. So obviously that last one is hinting at something that's gone down. Maybe someone who something's gone down with him and he harmed them, and they've spoken to Alexa. So many people have come forward against this guy to Alexa, and there's a good reason why, because there are so many survivors who want to speak out against him. I believe that this man is going to do anything in his power to stop everything, slow it down, and just, ignore it. I mean, his record label even blocked Alexa Nikolas, so they are definitely not going to be holding him accountable anytime soon, and I'm pretty sure they just don't care that he has used his power as part of this band to take advantage of women. As for Mike lately, he's actually been in a relationship with a woman named Genevieve. And actually, she reached out to me through my Instagram DMs, and I'm going to show them to you guys today. Keep in mind that Genevieve has been accused of trying to silence Alexa along with Mike. So she wrote to me, "Since you are so interested in exposing the truth, please use my actual email to Alexa instead of the one she doctored." So I'm going to show you guys Alexa's email that she originally posted. As you guys can see, it's an email from Genevieve, and it's pretty short and pretty mean. She says, "I think it's time for you to have a taste of reality. You are an a-hole, but more than that, you are delusional. Mike didn't do any of those things you are accusing him of. I did. So the lawyers, etc. That's BS." So she was going in on Alexa, but that supposedly isn't the correct email or isn't the full email. It's not incorrect because it's not edited in any way. It's just parts were removed. So let me show you guys those parts. So here is the unedited email from Genevieve to Alexa. She wrote, "Dear Alexa, I think it's time for you to have a taste of reality. Mike's parents are very sick. His father is in a life-threatening situation right now, and Mike is home taking care of his parents the best that he can. His father goes to an operation at 6 a.m. You are an actual a-hole, but more than that, you are delusional. Mike didn't do any of those things you're accusing him of. I did, so the lawyers, da-da-da-da-da. But please take that post down. Mike and his family are really suffering, and the last thing he needs to see right now, if there is any part of you left that is human, understand that our parents getting sick and not surviving is the hardest thing we go through." So obviously that's a very emotional email. There's a lot in there, a lot of personal things, and I actually did talk to Alexa, and she told me that she removed those parts not to change the context, but rather to remove the personal things that Mike's family was going through. Like, why not make it hard, like not make it even harder by putting it all on blast? Obviously it's not cool that like she doctored something, and I do understand that, but it didn't change the meaning of the actual email, and I feel like Genevieve is just trying to message me and save herself, and I feel like maybe she should hold her boyfriend accountable, as well as the record label and the rest of the world. But I do want to be frank with you guys that when she first messaged me this, I was shook, and I even messaged her, "I'm shocked right now, like why would she need to doctor anything? Like if you're trying to expose stuff, you really don't want to edit it because like it makes it look bad," which honestly, I just sent this like before I even read the context of the email, and she replied back to me and said, "Please take your video down then, because at least now you know that you see you aren't being told the truth and you are spreading misinformation and implicating me even outside of Mike, putting my image out there on the internet and hurting my real life." Of course, I'm not trying to target or hurt Genevieve's real life, but the email that she sent to me doesn't prove anything. Like, yeah, she edited out the family parts, the personal parts from that email, but it doesn't prove to me that Mike never did these things, and it just shows me that Mike is sending off his girlfriend to go message me and try to save himself. Like, these people are so scared to take accountability that he would rather have his record label block Alexa and have his girlfriend message me and try to shape this story into something that it's not. Trying to make Alexa look like she's not credible because she doctored this email. Well, yes, she doctored it, and yes, I was shocked at first, and that's why I put my DM up there. I don't want Genevieve to expose it and try to make it seem like I am talking bad about Alexa, because I talked to her in the DMs, and I believe that she just edited it to remove those personal parts that were really not relevant to this at all. At the end of the day, the main problem here is that Mike Milosh has committed crimes involving Alexa and their relationship, multiple other relationships out there, and he's not being held accountable. Where is the Me Too movement? Where is the accountability? Like, please guys. So I just wanted to remind you guys of what is going on here, because Alexa has to live with this. It's not going to go away, and I'm glad that she's continuing to remind us and update us so we know that this guy cannot be trusted, and maybe it can protect other people in the future. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I still think the hot sauce story is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, absolutely. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a package to open for you guys, and I already know this one is from my favorite CBD brand. It's called BASK Wellness. If you want to go use it, I do have a coupon code. I think it's Sloan. It'll be listed below, but you guys can go use it. I don't get any commission. It's literally just giving our girl some love with her small business. You guys know I love small businesses, and I loved this one when she sent me a package, and I was like, if you give me a code, I'll promote you, and I love her so much. So thank you so much, Jamie, and go check out BASK Wellness, because they have really authentic products. Like, when you try CBD, sometimes You'll be like, oh, that didn't do anything. Well, it's because you didn't try good CBD. Like, I tried it before and I was like, oh, that does nothing. And then I tried good CBD, and once you know that it's authentic and real, it really does actually work. So if you want help sleeping at night, definitely try it out. So let's go ahead and try out this, or check out this package. Oh my gosh. She gave me so many dog treats. I'm so hyped. Yes, look at this. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to give it back to my mom for sure. So these are little CBD dog treats, and they're my dog's favorite. Literally, guys, they're such good treats, especially if you have to leave your dog and they have social anxiety from like the pandemic and being inside all of the time. These will calm them down. You don't feel as bad leaving them. You can just know that they're chilling with their CBD and their bone back at home. So thank you so much for that, Jamie. And oh, actually, there's a note right here. Look at me skipping ahead. Sloan, congrats on 300K. You've been killing it on YouTube and shedding light on so many important topics. So proud of your drive and so glad I found you. Thank you for your support of BASK. As you probably can tell, we've been a little quiet over here, but we're just working through some growing pains and working on making the best products possible. I hope you enjoy these goodies. Aw, thank you so much. P.S. The full spectrum bears have more of a hempy flavor. Just FYI. Oh, okay. Let's see what she's talking about. So it looks like she has, oh my gosh, I'm so hyped, guys. So she sent me like some type of gummy thing. Oh, and I actually just finished my neon bears recently, which she sent me those a while ago, and I like they lasted a while. So wow, these are tropical gummy bears, and then these are the neon bears, which I literally had these like 2 days ago on a drive, and they really calmed me down. So I highly recommend these. And then these, we have to try these on camera. So these are some CBD gummy bears, and I don't know if I should have CBD right now because I'm about to edit this video, but we'll go ahead and give it a try. Ooh, it does definitely have like a hemp smell. Like it smells like real like substance. It tastes good though. Packaging good too. Okay, sorry. I was trying to chew it down, but wow, thank you so much, BASK. I really appreciate it. And definitely go check it out and use my code. Not only do you get great products, but you're also supporting a local like subscriber business, small business, and we love that. So I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.